This is Mr. Pig, but as a dapper gentleman. That's my dog. Working in events since 2005, I've always been inspired by people coming together to share ideas. I'm Amanda Younger, and I'll be your host on Happy Hour, where I share a drink and a laugh with guests over stories and our hope for the future of the live event experience. Today's guest is Britton Hogge, software analyst, former director of operations, my former boss. He's a lot of fun, jack of all trades, if you will. Anyways, a special thank you to Laxamania Media, You Create, We Capture, and thank you to Whitley's Peanut Factory, the tin-salted Virginia peanuts. They're my new staple. And a special shout out to our new subscription to Flaviar. We got the welcome box. It's the cornerstone of good taste. We actually started out with a 3, kickstart our journey of spiritual enlightenment in whiskey. The spirits chosen are not necessarily established, but they're young and brilliant, and that goes perfectly with the Flaviar Creed, as well as ours. Be sure to continue the conversation with us online at eventspeak.com. Subscribe on Apple and Google Podcasts, follow us on Spotify and iHeartRadio, and favorite us on Stitcher to get all upcoming episodes and help others find our show. Be sure to comment below. We love as much feedback as possible in our early stages, and a promotional giveaway is in the works, so check back in soon. Together, we can make the difference in live events. Hey, I'm so glad that you're here with me today. I got a special guest. And today is going to be super special. Not only is it because of one of my favorite people of all time is seeing me from Virginia, but we're going to have a special unpackaging and tasting today. Yeah, that's right. We're going to do a little Flaviar. I think it's your caviar flavors. So we'll have 3 different whiskeys that we'll be able to taste. And in between that, we'll talk events, we'll talk adventures in events, and we'll definitely go to where we are in the digital tech sphere because of anyone who has pivoted properly in this environment. It's been Britton. So, sorry, I've already introduced you. Britton Hogge, everybody.
Hello.
There he is.
Hello.
All right. Tell everyone who you are, what you do, and what you're drinking for happy hour.
Okay. So my name is Britton Hogge, and I currently work in local government doing IT, but I used to be an event professional, working with Amanda at Heritage of Pride, NYC Pride, up until just about a year ago.
Right.
When I was there, I was the director of operations, and we worked together for something like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, since 2015.
Yeah. Yeah. So that would be 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
Don't work there any longer.
Right.
Kind of still work in events, I guess. We can get into that, but
yeah.
What am I drinking for happy hour? I'm drinking this really cool tasting set. What I like to drink for happy hour is mostly whatever's lying around. Lately, it's been beer.
Right.
Actually, we had some gin here recently, some Hendrix. Love Hendrix.
Yeah.
Mules are a popular drink here in the house with Mom.
Nice.
And actually, just recently, within the past couple of weeks, I have created my own fall drink called a FallDown.
A FallDown.
A FallDown, and that was made out of necessity because the ginger beer was all gone.
Oh, that's happened to me.
But the general concept is similar. So half a glass of crushed ice, fill the gin up to the top of the ice, squeeze in however much fresh lime juice or lemon when we ran out of limes that you prefer. Then a couple dashes of bitters, and top it off with some nice fall pressed apple cider right out of the jug.
I've done a little apple cider with my bourbon before. Yeah.
Yep. It is really pleasant. Yeah, the apple cider by itself was just too sweet cider kind of thing.
Yep.
But that little bit of citrus and the bitters really just kind of made it something that was special. So we've had quite a few of those, and I didn't know what to call it, so I thought a FallDown was
I like that. Well, we're gonna fall back at the end of October, beginning of November. So I like to fall down for that.
I like the fall down. Well, and if you have a few too many, you might fall down.
Well, it's a lot of gin.
Also, the leaves fall down.
And the
It's
leaves are falling
autumn.
down. You don't necessarily fall down, but sometimes the leaves fall down. So
I
you
think when
that's
apples
why you
when
watch
apples are ripe and fresh, they
fall
fall
down.
down too. I think. Yeah, yeah,
You can stumble out to see the leaves fall.
yeah. So that's what we've been drinking lately.
Yeah, and you sent me some Virginia peanuts.
Yeah, you got the peanuts.
Yeah, from Whitley's here.
Little bag here as well. Oh, little bright there.
What's the story of Whitley's? I mean, like, one, I love cocktail peanuts and we'll probably never have them at bars ever again unless they are already packaged and contained like that.
These are good, dude. Well, yeah, no, you don't want to just eat them out of the jar, out of the bowl anymore, right?
No.
No. Well, so Whitley's peanuts, is that too crinkly?
It's a little crinkly, but everyone
For all
headphones on,
ASMR fans.
listening to all the crinkles. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah. So the story of Whitley's is it's just a local hometown peanut operation.
Mm-hmm.
Craig Whitley is the namesake. So it's been a family business, and my mom actually grew up literally right next door to their retail shop / peanut plant. And they've really expanded their operations over time, but I was the ring bearer in Craig's wedding.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. And you can start to see these now in a couple of different places. I've seen them in New York a few times when I lived up there, especially the peanuts in like the burlap sack, like in the shell still.
Mm-hmm.
But they have all kinds of peanut and peanut adjacent products. Like their peanut fudge is really, really good. They actually sell boiled peanuts for those fans of this. I love good boiled peanuts.
Love boiled peanuts. Normally
you have to get them like on the side of the road somewhere in like South Carolina, but they sell them canned, which I know is probably like a bastardization of.
I don't know about that.
But if you really, if you live somewhere and you really need some boiled peanuts, then theirs are probably some of the best because their peanuts are awesome and super crunchy. I think the bag says that
these are nice, dry roasted.
Select super extra large.
Mm-hmm.
So these are not just peanuts.
Home cooked.
Does your can say the same thing? Select super extra large?
It does. Well,
so
good. Well, thank you so much for this snack. I will keep this handy with me throughout the day.
It's a great snack for what we're going to do, I think.
I know. So,
should we do the one more snack? The other snack? You don't have it.
What's the other snack? I don't have it.
You've had it, though. So it's Northern Neck popcorn bag.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a nice local popcorn. This one is sausage, gravy, and biscuit.
I mean, that's a Southern staple as well.
I think when I visited you, I brought some of the the Bay mix or something like that.
Yeah.
That was like Old Bay and beer flavored and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But they have all kinds of flavors, and it's all stuff you can get online, and it's all local, and it's all really great. So
I love. I also like grabbing those staples of like Southern culture cuisine, like sausage, gravy, and biscuits, or even
popcorn,
just for like that whole Louisiana crew. We hear you guys. We know. We put Old Bay on everything too.
And the flavors are crazy, dude. I literally don't know how they did it, but it literally tastes like sausage gravy.
It's like when you get the Jelly Bellies and they're like the taste of popcorn, and you're like, how did you do that? I don't know. Any viewer or listeners experimenting at home with things, tell us how you do it.
We really do want to know.
Send us comments, please. We want to start making this stuff. All right. Let's move right along. Okay, so this is one of those subscriptions, and got you one too. So we have the same exact tasting thing. And in the top, I already pulled mine out. Did you?
I'll pull mine out.
Tab. Oh my goodness. and out of the tab is all of these little tasting coaster things, right? With information about what you're going to be tasting, and then also like a really cool coaster.
Really cool coaster.
Like a Thirsty Stone coaster. Yeah. Like a
Stone.
Yeah, stone. Thirsty
Like
Stone.
Thirsty Stone, yeah.
Yeah. Delicious.
But I'm going to put that right front and center over here, and I'm actually going to set my glass on it.
And then you'll find right by the label, there's a little thread, and you pull that thread to kind of pierce the label. Yeah. Pierce.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you just kind of jiggle it out. There we are.
Okay. So this is, so I checked the card ahead of time, and it sort of was telling me about that it's supposed to be a blind tasting.
Oh.
Or after you do the blind tasting, and I was like, but then why did you give me all this information? So I'm flipping the cards over because I didn't realize the bottles were pre-labeled, because they also come with stickers, I see.
Yes, and then so you can do one tasting, and then once it's revealed, you can put the sticker on.
And then you know what you got.
Yeah.
And the stickers are very cute. They're like
little, you can peel them off.
Little tiny stickers.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect for like a little bottle like this.
Yeah. And they almost look like, I wouldn't say like test tubes, but they look like little like tubes. Pretty quick and easy. Do you want to start with A?
I guess so. And should we do it blind? Like, should we just taste and be like, and then see what the notes are afterwards? Because it tells you like what you're supposed to taste, right?
Yeah. Let's do it. All right. This is A.
Okay, wait. Let me get my glass. Okay. A.
I actually do have a whiskey stone just to keep it cold. Just a little bit.
Oh, do you really? Oh, I do have some, but mine weren't frozen.
Yeah. All right.
Your glass is a lot daintier than mine. Mine's like a big.
Oh. And I'm just going to put in like, I don't know. Should I put in more? Okay.
I'll probably do I'm going to do like half maybe.
I think that's about it.
Because I want to be able to go back and retaste, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
oh, man.
So
we're going to get a little hammered.
It's a decent amount of alcohol. I think the website said each one's like 4 ounces or something, right?
This is a decent amount.
and like a normal shot is like 1.5. So this is like a lot of drinks. Okay.
It looks nice. It's a good color.
Yeah, can you see mine? It's kind of hard to see with the light. It's kind of
I guess the lighting's weird, and I'm sure all the companies, once we reveal who you are, is probably going to be like, oh, not under that light. Don't show our whiskey in that light.
Well, just looking at the others, it's like this one is color-wise between C and B. B is like a lot darker.
B is darker. C is
and C looks lighter. Yeah. Oh, you said really dark?
I think B is dark.
Yeah, no, B is really dark. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna try this one. This is A.
Ugh. If you smell
Number A.
Number A. This is brought to you by the letter A.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
It's like these are all bourbons, right?
Yeah. They should all be single malt, I think.
Doesn't have a lot of spice. It's like nice and banana, maybe. Would you say banana?
Yeah, you think a little banana. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a little malty. It's a little bit sweet.
Yeah,
Doesn't have too much heat or like dryness or
there's a little
smokiness or anything to it.
maybe it's the peanuts, but I'm getting a little roasty toasty. But the
A
peanuts
little
are
bit. Yeah, roasty. Yeah, I get the roasty.
awesome. So might be the peanuts, but they taste a little.
Bananas flambe.
Yeah, yeah. I actually think they go pretty well with it.
The peanuts. I'm gonna do another one. I'm doing one peanut.
Yeah.
Probably like, why are you eating peanuts with the whiskey? And then mess it up. I like this one.
Yeah, this is nice. Just takes me a little bit because I haven't had much to eat today. Yeah. Oh, see, yeah, okay. I can taste it a little bit better. Yeah, no, it still has that smoky toasty to it.
Should we check? Do we check the card now to see if our tasting profile was right?
Okay. Reveal. Who are you?
Okay, A is bourbon from a producer called Breckenridge.
Is that Breckenridge, Colorado?
I'm not sure. Oh. Toasted.
Toasty.
Honey, banana. I think that says roasted too, but it looks like that bee is pooping out a little cloud.
Yeah, I think the bee looks like it's trying to be an octopus, and
honey
it is pooping out a cloud.
Vanilla bread. What is that meant to be like a joke? Do you see that? The spicy notes.
The spicy notes are. Oh, it's just spicy notes, and is that?
But it's like that's like a person, like who I assume maybe sent spicy letters or something, right?
Yeah. I was going
I don't know
to say
who
it looks
it
like
is.
William Shakespeare, but it's not William Shakespeare.
That's what I thought too, but then I was like, I don't remember there being jokes about him writing like saucy letters.
It's not William Shakespeare. It is somebody else who sent spicy notes. I don't know who this guy is, and we're going to look it up.
It's totally meant to be a joke, though. And if I knew who it was, I know I would be.
And we'd be laughing right now. We'd be like, you guys are so witty. I'm so glad I caught the inside joke, and I like it.
He wrote the spiciest of notes.
Oh, my. It riddled the whole country. Just took it down. Oh, spicy notes. The spicy boy.
Well, I have to say, Breckenridge, this is very impressive. This is lovely. Bourbon whiskey, 43% ABV, I assume is what that is on the label there. So
when you first started in events, you actually started over at a winery. I know we're doing a tasting. I feel like you really got your groove going at a winery, doing wine tastings. It was almost kind of like it. But what was that like? What was that job like? What did you learn? How many bachelorette parties showed
up? Quite a few, to answer your last question. But yeah, I mean, I guess my sort of introduction to events and tourism and hospitality and that whole sort of, I guess you can consider them all sort of like cousin industries, right? They all kind of rely on one another. Was working at a winery in Charlottesville. So I went to the University of Virginia and graduated from there in 2007 and had no idea what I was going to do with my life after that, which is shocking, I know, for anyone who's graduated from college right now.
I thought everybody was about to like take over the world once they graduate college. Everyone knows what they're about to do.
Or that you just walk out of college and you like apply for jobs and they're like, of course, please, we had a seat waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you and your knowledge.
Right. Not the case. So I had no idea what to do, and I'm pouring myself some of B now. That was way more than half, but
I did the same, and then I had to pour some of it back into the vial.
I don't think I'll be that
I
coordinated.
was like, whoa.
Whoop. So when I left college, I had no idea what to do. And I actually worked at a daycare, it was like an after school daycare sort of thing, like a camp, basically, right? It was like part of the local gym and or wellness center, and they did summer camps, but then during the school year in the afternoon, kids would come there until 5, 6 o'clock until their parents got off of work. So I did that for a couple months, and a little ways into the school year, I was like, I need a drink. I think after a couple, I got to one called Jefferson Vineyards, and I was like, are you hiring? And
Jefferson.
And shout out to Missy Stevens, who was the tasting room manager there at the time. She had just, I think, become the tasting room manager like a month before I called her. And I was like, are you hiring? And she said, yeah. And I was her first hire. And I went on to work with Missy for 4 or 5 years there, I think. I worked first as just a tasting room associate, just doing wine tastings and general retail work. And then actually took on the open office manager job, which was also sort of like the assistant tasting room manager to Missy, and then was helping with all of that, and then we started doing like wine sale, more wine sales and tours and tasting events and things like that. And the place was like really growing while I was there. It was really kind of like coming into its own. They were placing accounts and things like that. They hired an outside wine sales rep named Megan Pritchard. Shout out to Megan. That's actually how I ended up in New York. She and I got drunk on some Chardonnay one night. And we were like, I want to move to New York City. She was like, me too. And we kind of joked. We were like, well, let's do it. And then within a couple of weeks, we were telling people that we were going to move to New York. And then we did, and so that was just sort of what happened. But for the couple of years I was at the vineyard, it was a lot of learning about wine. We got to help with the harvest sometimes. We were always encouraged to taste and try and learn and understand what was going on with the product. The really fun season of the year was harvest time, which is usually around, I want to say, October. We always had a harvest feast in like October, November, right? So that was sort of the big time of year, right?
Yeah.
Because that was when everything was getting pressed. That was when, we were releasing the vintages from the past year and stuff like that, things that had been aging for months and stuff like that. And so it was always really fun. They would always include us in the sort of the formulaic tasting. So the winemaker would put together blends of like 5 or 6 different kinds of Chardonnay. This one's 80% with 20% of this other thing, or 90% with 10% of this other thing, and all these different blends, right? And he wouldn't tell us what they were, and we would literally kind of do what we're doing with this, and everyone would go through, and they would taste, and they would write notes like, this one's great, or this one's too sour, or this one's not. And he would take that stuff into account as they kind of decided what was like the ultimate blend that they were going to produce and bottle for the year. So but it was really fun. And
nice.
The events became a huge part of the winery, and for most of the wineries in the area, and for most wineries in general, events are big, right? Like, we grew the physical location to allow for more tastings and more tours, and for people to get married there, and for people to sort of like have the space or come through with a big group, or I know we had some like little like a group would come and have a meeting on the deck or whatever, and there'd be like 50 people all doing some kind of presentation, and then we'd bring them wine and cheese and stuff like that. And it was really fun. And so what I learned from that was, I think, one, how to kind of coordinate, right? Because you have big tour groups coming through, and so you'd have to plan for that and try and figure out like how you're going to get 65 people to all come and do tasting. The bus shows up, and a lot of time a lot of times they would come unannounced. And as we both know in events, most of the time events is just putting out fires and just dealing with stuff as it happens. So it could be a Saturday in, August or September, and you've already got like 60 people hanging out in the tasting room, and then it's like you hear a rumble outside and someone goes, oh my God, there's a bus outside. And we're like, oh no. And then 60 more people get off and you're like, speed up your tastings. We gotta get people going. Who's available to do a tour? You know, you're right in the middle of a tasting. All right, I'll do a tour. You take the register. Like, it was, if we weren't actually hosting events, every day doing just tastings for people was an event, right? You could think of it as like a series of mini events. Just two people came in and wanted to do a wine tasting. You had to be ready to put on a little event. It's an experience, right? Yeah. Here's what we've got. Let me tell you about it. Where you're from. What are you doing here? What a cute, I see your car. And it was a whole thing. So
yeah. Can I interest you in buying stuff to take home? Did you enjoy your experience? Would you like to take things home?
I'll tell you what really sold without any encouragement. We used to have shirts like this, black T-shirts, and they had little rhinestone designs on them. And
Bedazzled logo?
One of them, yeah. Well, it wasn't our logo, but we bought them from this vendor. One of them had a little glass of white wine, all bedazzled rhinestones. A little glass of white wine, a little glass of red wine, and like a little glass of something else, like port, maybe a little small glass of something. And it said group therapy. And people loved it, dude. We couldn't keep them in stock. And they were like $30 or something. I mean, we were just like, buy the shirts.
We want what you're wearing. Take it off. I want
Eventually we started buying, we bought like one other like that and it sold equally as well, but those were very, very popular. Also, I wish I had the product here. I feel like I bought one once for the office when we worked together. Probably. But there were these cheese balls called Simply Cheddar. And I'm fairly certain
cheese balls, yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're still in business and they will ship you a cheese ball anywhere you want and it comes frozen on dry ice. And you can keep it frozen for like 3 months or something like that. And they are the bomb, dude. It's like chopped cheese with the pecans and all mashed together. That was a hot seller too. We couldn't keep those in stock.
That's good. Well, and the great thing about those moments is, even if you have like a brick and mortar store, or even just if that's the distillery or winery, if this is where you're making the product, to even have tastings is allowing like the consumers to come in and you're doing direct to consumer sales. Yep. There's no middleman. It's, you're just going, it's just pure profit. All they have to do is pay overhead for folks like you who are learning the business, to come in and help walk people through the experience, give them a tour.
Become customers ourselves and buy and take home for the holidays and give us gifts. And,
you're living it.
Yeah.
You're living it. Yeah. Of course you buy it. All right. Well, that's great. Let's move on to B.
B is much darker. I think you can kind of tell even in the weird light that we have, but
yes,
much darker.
Yes. I'm ready.
The smell is the nose is like a little lighter than the first one, actually. The first one had sort of a really heavy kind of aroma to it. This one's been sitting in my glass for a little longer too, so that could have something to do with it, but oh, that's very different.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah.
It's dry. It's not nearly as sweet.
No, it's a more woodsy, I'd say.
It doesn't have the heavy kind of like mouthfeel that the other one did either. I don't really get the whole banana, vanilla vibe from this one. It's not that sort of flavor.
No.
I don't know what it is. I'd be tempted to say it might be a rye because it's so mild and just sort of like
barley.
That barley sort of like maybe I would say maybe toasty or roasty again, but I mean that's pretty typical for like most of this kind of stuff. But
Mm.
That's pretty easy drinking though, I gotta say. Should we
might
check the card?
Easier to drink. Maybe because I've already had one. Maybe. Like the third one, I'll be like, this is easy.
It is a rye. It's from a distillery called Few.
Oh,
Rye
yeah.
whiskey.
Few. I've seen that.
I've never heard of it before.
They have the bottles they're a little bit more squarish.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can get a little picture of the bottle on the
Yeah, there you go.
Cute.
And they have a few of them. They have a few different types. For sure.
This is really nice though, honestly. I mean, I didn't dislike the first one at all.
What all are in the
But
notes?
this is something that I think you could just literally sip on. It's very mild.
So honey,
rye,
caramel, pepper, caramel,
spice, rye,
nice
malted
spicy.
barley.
So it's a little dry. It is.
It's really clean. It's I like this one a lot, actually.
Malted barley. And I was like, barley.
No shade to Breckenridge, but I'm very pleased with the Few.
Yeah. No, Breckenridge was good, but I mean, rye is a completely different taste palette, right? So I'm digging this. This is nice.
If I was forced to buy a bottle right now, it would probably be this one. But we haven't tasted C. So I don't want to speak too soon, but very pleased.
I'm slowly running out of water.
Sorry, you hear the little dog yap?
No, I didn't hear the dog yap. You see my dapper boy here? This is Mr. Pig, but as a dapper gentleman. That's my dog. That's my dog with his ear going the wrong way, and then I wanted him to look like Mr. Darcy.
With the pig.
For all those Jane Austen fans out there, and then I put this bowl is actually it's an award. It's one of Anna's awards
that it's sitting on.
That I used it as a prop. I also filled it with like all of these like prayer beads, and she was like, "That's my award," and I was like, "I thought it was just a bowl." She's like, "No,
put peanuts in it."
I was like, "I can go put some snacks in the bowl." Hey guys, I got the chips and dip. What are you doing?
Mix one of those punches that's like 7-Up and like a frozen ring of orange juice or something. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
What are you doing?
That's my award. What are you doing?
I thought we could have like a sherbet punch. It's a great bowl. What are you doing?
It's just 7-Up. It's fine.
I don't know. I just need it right now. I want my dapper boy right over my shoulder. So
yeah, he's very handsome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm very pleased with this one. I'm a little sad that I poured so much of it out to begin with because I really want to go.
We got to go back around on another round of this stuff.
That is very tasty, dude. I'm gonna look for that one.
That's nice.
Wherever fine spirits are sold.
Few. Well done. Few rye. So the good thing, being that we like that, we should probably check out some of their other stuff, because I know that they do bourbon, and I know that there's 3 bottles that I've seen. I don't know what the other one is, but I'm going to assume one's bourbon, one's rye, and then one is something else that's like special aged and someone's grandma's recipe. So maybe I'm wrong. We'll find out. It'll be something different. Who knows?
Most people have like a portfolio, I would say.
Yeah.
I would say that's a safe bet, but I'm gonna research this one a little more, I think.
Okay, so you've been at the winery, you've met great people, you've learned great things about creating events around Erkimaharo, direct-to-consumer experiences for like a small business, you could basically say, that's like grown and expanded. And there on a drunken night, hanging out with your colleagues, discussing life and work. You guys talk about moving up to New York, and so you do. And how did you get a job with Heritage Pride?
Well, so we moved there, both of us, without work. We had savings stored up and said we're gonna move to New York and live the dream and make it work.
Yeah.
And so when we first got there, I was studying to take a finance test. I was studying for the first level of the CFA exam, and she eventually started, I think, studying for her MBA.
Okay.
So we had things to do, and we volunteered some at a couple places, and she had a family friend that we spent some time with, and we went to a lot of show tapings. We saw the Nate Barker show like 4 times, and we went to Martha Stewart, and we went to, we did all that stuff, right, when we first moved there, because we didn't have anywhere to go. And it's free to go to those tapings. You just ask for a seat, and if they say yeah, you come, and you got to go early, but like, no, didn't stand in line. You like go online and do it.
Oh.
And they go like, yep, no problem. Like, we've got a spot. And then you just go and you show up. As long as you show up on time. If you don't show up for your spot, they give it to the people who are online, right? But if you do it ahead of time and you reserve a seat, then they'll just let you come. But you got to go early. And so we did a lot of that stuff. And then
fresh news about shows. It just came out. Well, by the time this airs, it came out a couple weeks ago. Broadway is remaining closed until May 2021. Just to let you know on the climate here in New York.
That's crazy, dude.
I know.
That's a shame.
It was very much a shame.
It makes sense, but that sucks for everybody involved with all that.
Everyone in that industry, and everyone who's in that industry within that, based off of the tourism to those shows. So there's not just the industry that runs those shows. There's all these other like businesses that rely on all of those people that go to those shows, that go to those events. Like
restaurants, dude. Restaurants are hurting so bad.
Bars, they're all of that. And this is actually, I don't know if you can see it. It says wine's a nice girl, but she's no match for tonight. And she came as a 2-tumbler set with from The Inheritance, which was on Broadway for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it just I think the last week was right when COVID happened and the shutdown occurred for Broadway, so they actually only missed out their final week. So I was going to go back again. And so I got those tickets were automatically refunded, but miss Broadway, miss going to shows, miss the people. But yeah, so back to you. So you came to New York and you guys went to all of these shows, all the shows while you guys are studying to do some pretty cool stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with events.
Nothing. And like, so how I got to Pride, obviously we were doing things that didn't involve having an income. And we're both actively seeking work. She eventually got a job at a high-end restaurant, and I sort of kept looking for things. Saw a tweet one day from NYC Pride that was like, do you want to be an event coordinator or something like that? And I was like, I could do that. I worked in hospitality. Like, I could do events. So I applied. I went for an interview, and they were just like over the moon. Oh my gosh, do you want this job? Like within a couple of days. And so I took the job, and I was the March coordinator or March assistant, I think was the title then. March assistant.
Yeah,
we had assistant titles at Pride for a long time, but that was a little bit of a misnomer. I think our friend Liz Craighead, who you interviewed in a separate episode, was the dance assistant at one point in time, and people kept thinking she was the choreographer. So we eventually had to properly assign names to those titles that were representative of the work that the people were doing. So so I was the March assistant for my first year. We also lost our media director that year, partway through the season, because Pride definitely has a season. It's like high time starting in like February or March, and it just is like crazy until you get across the finish line, which is not the end of June when Pride happens. It's really like August, which is when all the stuff is cleaned up and all the insurance claims have been filed and all the broken stuff has been fixed or paid for or whatever.
Right.
So that first year I was the March assistant. So I worked mostly on the March. I did a lot of registration, computer stuff, just like confirming with people their groups and their sizes and where they were going to line up, where they were going to go and what they needed to do. And then when we lost our media director, I was like, I could probably do that. You want me to send a bunch of emails to the press and like just type up a bunch of things real quick? And they were like, yes, absolutely, please. So within like a couple months of moving to New York, I got my name in the New York Times, because that was the same year that New York State passed gay marriage legislation.
Oh wow.
My first year there.
Wow. That's great.
That very first year, I got calls just randomly from, reporters and stuff being like, do you have a statement? Does the organization have a statement? And so
as the new media director,
there's like an article in the New York Times that was like, da-da-da-da-da, said Britton Hogge, media director for Heritage of Pride. And I was like, ta-da.
Welcome to New York. Look at these dreams happening. You can do anything here.
Not long after that, they offered me a full-time position because that role was seasonal.
Okay. You were seasonal and you got quoted in the New York Times?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
So not long after that, they offered me a full-time role as the operations manager, which eventually became director of operations after some time there. But so I spent another 8 years there. It was about 9 years in total that I spent in the city, and about 8.5 of that was spent working at Heritage of Pride.
I love it.
From that all the way through, New York State gay marriage legislation, national gay marriage legislation when the Supreme Court, decided the Windsor case, and then in 2019, last year, not this past Pride, which would have been 2020, but 2019, New York hosted World Pride. So that was my last Pride there. So
you went out with a bang.
So feather in that hat.
Yeah. Well, that's
and I can proudly say that while I was there, all of the events really went off without a hitch. We never had major safety issues, never had major security concerns.
Monthly conversations with the city very openly, and they'd take it up and take it down. You'd have all sorts of city agencies involved just on the operations and logistics that you kind of directed. It was, who's going where and how is that getting formed, and okay, if you're taking up like this side of the west side, but you're also, in this little area over here, and then you've got another route going up the middle. So now how do we like reroute the rest of the city around all of your events? And we're like, don't reroute them. Let them come in. And they're like, no.
And trash. Oh, God,
sanitation. I love the Department of Sanitation.
Garbage like you would not believe.
Oh.
And they literally they would whoosh, and it was gone, dude. Like in like a blink of an eye, they would come through and just, and it was all gone. But the amount of just like debris that was always left over from these events, insane, dude.
And you'd pull out from the storage shed like push brooms.
Oh yeah.
And you go, okay, so give this to your community working group. Here's their push brooms for the
pick up the trash, dude.
And you're like,
we're not done
doing this. And sure enough, Department of Sanitation would come, He'd be the inspector to see that you've gotten it as close to the dumpsters and as close to the garbage cans as you can possibly get it, but you're just kind of like out there sweeping juice.
That was a big part of the events.
That was when everybody left.
Oh yeah, dude. Nobody wanted to help with the trash.
Hey, we got trash time. I gotta say, oh man.
But that's part of the events, right? It's like it's from what did our boss always say? What's Chris say? From soup to nuts. And that was the nuts at the end. Dude. That was the nuts.
That was the
literally from like nothing. I mean, that was from nothing to everything, right? It was like, here's an empty pier, make an event happen on it, or like here's a couple of 50 blocks of Midtown Manhattan, 40 blocks of Midtown Manhattan,
under $1 million.
Just do something with it. Yeah. But you got to clean it up.
Yeah. You always have to clean it. That's the last part. Because you always, you got to get your security deposit back.
And they'll keep it too if it's dirty.
They will keep it. Absolutely.
They will keep it.
All right. Last one.
C. I already poured some. I haven't tried it yet, though.
I haven't poured it yet, but C even says scotch. All right, so let's do this sketchy sketch.
I'm going for C now.
Gotta go for C.
Okay.
This was the one that was super light colored, and now we know why, right? Product of Scotland.
It's a scotch. Mm-hmm.
All right. I mean, I didn't even taste it.
We got more of a nose.
Ah, my ancestry.
Ooh, yeah, that is scotch, dude.
Oh. I was like, a little
smoky scotch. Raisin is one of the tasting notes. I don't know if I got that. Raisin and melon and vanilla.
Vanilla. Yeah. What else? Spicy nuts.
I really do want to understand what that one was about.
Dark chocolate, floral, almonds, apple.
Does that
That's
say
sort of like a very, like, really good palate to, like, taste that. How do you
Does that one say rancid?
It
No.
says
Rancio? What is that?
What is that?
I gotta look it up.
I don't know, but the picture doesn't look good. It looks like a clam. What is that? Rancio. I'm losing my eye.
With hints of oyster.
Is that a rancid clam? I don't taste
Ew. Rancio is
that.
actually a word which comes from Portugal, used to describe characteristics of port wine during the maturing process. So port-like, I guess. Interesting. Well, that would fit kind of in the raisin profile, right? Wolfburn Aurora.
Not more of like a. See, and I like tasted leather. I guess that was the raisin.
Well, and I'll be real, I'm not really a Scotch aficionado. I do like Scotch at weddings because it tends to be there when it's not often at other events. But I like Scotch and soda, or Scotch and water.
Soda,
Yeah.
I also find that Scotch is really good with water. Just to dilute it a little bit.
Yeah, and get that nice smoky, peaty if it's a peated one. And just that nice flavor profile.
Taste a little bit more. Because
you can taste some of the back notes without the heat.
Yeah. So I just feel like Scotch and water is the way to go. That's me. Maybe that's the wrong thing to do, but I know some bourbons are great on the rocks, but there's like some bourbons where if you have them with ice, it makes them taste like a downgrade, and then if you have them neat, you actually taste more of the flavor. So I feel that Scotch is the opposite. If you add some water to it, you can get more of the complexity of the notes rather than just getting slapped in the face. Of course, I keep slapping like that.
Well, and I don't know that there's anything wrong with that. I mean, there's probably people who would say no, but I mean, we used to always tell people at the vineyard, it was like, drink it however you want. Like, if you want to refrigerate your red for a little bit so it's cooler, or, I mean, don't put it on. We always said don't put it on ice because, like, that really will dilute the flavor of the wine. But if that's what you want to do, then who cares? I mean, you're the one drinking it.
It's true.
Buy it and take it home and throw some ice cubes in it. Who cares? I'm not going to come and say anything to you.
Drink what you like. Love who you love. Enjoy it how you want it. You're on your own path, your own journey. No one needs to tell you what your palate should taste like. You should just
That's exactly right.
let it explode in your mouth. If you don't like it like that, maybe pull it back. That's fine.
People would get hung up on like the pairings and stuff like that. And we were always like, just eat it with what you like.
I feel like we really dug B.
That was
really
that was absolutely my favorite out of all of them.
Rye whiskey was kind of the winner, I think, on our tape.
It was super good, dude. I want some more, but I also want to save it.
Okay. All right.
Are you going to have more now? If you're going to have more now, then I'm just going to finish mine.
I'm going to have more now.
Then let's just do it. I know I'm going to go find some of this because I think it's delicious.
I'm going to do the rest of the C right now.
I just went straight for B.
Enjoy the Scotch. So now you've left me. You've left New York City.
Just in time, too, it seems.
Just in time.
I left in October of 2019, which was like literally right before COVID got going. And I moved home. Originally, the plan was just to move home, right? Get close to my parents again.
Yeah.
And I was just going to go. And started applying for jobs and actually found one with the county where I work or where I live.
Which makes sense because we work so much with the city already.
Sure.
Yeah.
And now I work in IT there. So, and that was sort of a natural transition too from doing what I did.
Well, and that's also like kind of a natural transition that I think almost all event specialists are doing now, right? So now we're having to go more into technology and kind of understanding it more rather than just like, okay, I need the lights and I need the projector and I need like an AV guy to make that run. We're now kind of moving to this virtual digital space online and going like, okay, now I have to be the guy that's playing with the lights and the projector.
It's true. I mean, I didn't really take this role thinking that I was going to be still kind of an event producer, but I am sometimes. Like, we have meetings, we have trainings, or I'm trying to support other people in setting up their own remote meetings, trainings, various, processes or things that they need to do. And so it is still, I mean, compared to what you guys have been having to do, it's very similar still, like you had to move a lot of your events online and make things virtual that were not virtual and create online versions or experiences of versions that didn't exist. And we basically kind of had to do the same thing, right? It was like, all of a sudden it was like, everyone needs to get out of the office. And how are we still going to be able to meet and do work? So that was a big part of what we did early on, was try and figure out how to make sure that people had the right tools and the right resources and accesses and understanding of how to, kind of continue to function in the current environment. So Still producing events, just different kinds. It's exciting because I like to mess with computers and software and tinker with things, and it's also fun because you still get to interact with people, right? I'm not just stuck behind a computer all day, like people will call and be like, this whole system is down or something, and then you're like, oh my god, we all got to stop what we're doing. Or it's little stuff like I'm trying to do something with a PDF and I'm not quite sure how to do it, and I'll say, well, I don't really know either, but we'll figure it out. And then we kind of learn together. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, I'm reading this. And they're like, well, and I see over here. And then it's like, all right, well, let's try this. Oh my God, it worked. And you sort of have that. That's a mini event, right? Like you both have a little experience where you're interacting and you're trying to figure something out. And then you figure it out and you both get that little bit of joy. Like, wow, we figured it out.
Yeah, together. We're not silly. We are the master of the machine.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. So we had, so then I watched Explain about esports, and it had a burst of information. So if any of you listening are part of event production, if you are coming dry on ideas of how to make an on-site event experience into a virtual one, it already exists, and it is in esports, it is in gaming, and it is a community that already exists. They've already learned how to make connection. They've already learned how to make a virtual environment where you can shop and converse and engage, and then create teams, and then go out and do an event. And I know, one, it was great that you do IT, and then we could talk about how, you've been doing events, but I also know that you are big in the gaming community, and so am I. I actually started working with you, and you said, hey, are you familiar with Age of Empires? And I was like, I am not. And you were like, I'm going to put it on your computer right now. And it was like, after all of this work and all of these meetings, you'd be like, do you want some beers and play a game? And I'd be like, yeah. And you'd be at your desk with a computer, and I'd be at my desk with my computer. And that was our Friday night. It was like, do you have plans? And I was like, no. Let's just get some Chinese food from across the street, get some beer, and let's play some games. And we stayed in the office. The office all night. It was awful. It was fantastic.
It was awesome.
I think there's a lot to be learned about esports, as well as just learning about the gaming community in general, because they've already created an environment that has community engagement. It already, which I think I've already said all of these main words. I'm not even reading anything. I'm almost done with all of this whiskey. Anyways,
some of mine too.
I know, it's fantastic. This is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think to your point, the gaming community is already sort of accustomed to planning and hosting and doing a lot of organizing online, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't tend to be thousands of people necessarily on the regular. I mean, if you have a big esports tournament or something going on, or some kind of a big release, a lot of people will probably tune in.
Or even if you have a Twitch account and you're playing games, you've got tons of followers.
Yeah, you may have thousands of people watching.
Watch it to learn.
Yep. To learn and just watch and enjoy and see other people play games that they like to play and stuff like that. So, but I know a lot of people are just engaged. When I sort of stumbled upon a clan, which is sort of the terminology for a group of people that play within a lot of games. There's World of Warcraft.
I'll be a dwarf, and the other one's
Destiny and stuff.
I'll be your
right. Right.
Now we just need somebody brute. It's me.
I'll do it. I'll be the tank or whatever.
Yeah.
I sort of stumbled upon that. Like a friend of mine was like, "Oh, my friend's in a clan, and he'll send us an invite or whatever."
Mm-hmm.
And joined up, and it turned out to actually be a Destiny clan, which I believe max out at like 60 people or 100 people or something like that. But then it's really like hundreds of people in a Slack together.
That's not
like
even a joke.
500 people in a Slack instance, and
What?
they all have channels about different games, and there's channels for tech talk or just random stuff. And I think it was really built kind of around Destiny as a game that people were playing, but it's really grown into a place where I've found other people to play other games with, and have made a couple of just online friends, where like I've never met them before, but now I play with one guy in Oregon, and sometimes his son jumps in with us, and we'll all three play together, and his son's like really good.
Of course.
And we're like, please come help us, carry us, and help us. And we had another friend we were playing with in California who now lives in Nova Scotia or moved back. And so we're all across the country, and coordinating time zones can really be a challenge sometimes, because it's like, I gotta go to bed soon, can we do this time? Okay, how about that time? Literally, while we've been on this call, I've seen a couple of notifications come up that were like, do you want to play tonight?
There's a rally.
Like, let's play. Let's play.
When it comes with events that I'm doing, I'm like, gosh, now if I can figure out a way where I can get certain speakers or certain talent, global talent that I can run, the other thing is when I do tickets, am I doing, staggered tickets for my, for people coming in, but then also just staggering my time zones of when my event should exist. Because if I'm releasing digital recorded material, I can release it for a Europe, Africa time zone. I can release it for an Asian, Australian time zone. I can release it for the Americas. As long as I have somebody that's monitoring the chats, as long as I have somebody that's like fully engaging on behalf of the organization or the production company. It was this huge hospitality coordination to get people in, to have like that international perspective. And now that we have been flown into this digital space and this digital world, we're able to, if you kind of schedule things early enough or late enough, you can get the right international speakers and perspectives in your program, and then kind of release it at different time zones, at staggered time zones, to where that recorded program is now globally a global audience. And so, when you're looking at, you kind of base your estimate of audience on just like America. Now you can kind of go like, well, let's see if we can expand it to like other areas. And now something that's been normally very localized, especially if you're talking about anything. If it's been super localized, now's the time that you can really expand that audience, that demographic even, to different time zones, different places, and different perspectives, because now we've all been forced worldwide. This is a global pandemic. Into the digital sphere. And I think it's really opened doors. And I think it's something that the gaming community can really be an answer to. And that's, because, like you've said, and like we've experienced, you're playing with people from all sorts of different time zones, all on the same project, on the same thing, on the same program. You guys are meeting, you guys are talking, you guys are engaging, you're having a connection to where now, like, I play well with this person in Oregon. So I know around this time, this is when like we are kind of mutually bored and getting online. So it's almost just kind of like the same when you're in the digital space for your event. If your event is now an international space, it can go a full day meeting everybody and engaging with everybody as the sun rotates. And that's a pretty cool concept.
It's pretty cool. It's been pretty cool to be part of like a group of people that are actively engaged, and they're just all over the place. I mean, there were definitely a couple of folks who were in Europe, some in like Australia, and like some US based, but were traveling like pre-COVID. And so like, you get responses all times of the day, and people trying to coordinate various parts of the game that they're trying to to work on or do an activity or something, and saying, well, how about 1 p.m. Eastern? And it's really funny because just you learn about time zones, because people are like, well, I'm PST, or I'm like, I'm Universal Time plus 12 or something like that, and it just becomes like a whole thing. And so you're constantly having to be like, what is that? What is that my time? Oh no, that's like 3 a.m. my time. I can't do that.
What do you do?
But now with COVID, you're like,
1300,
I can't do that. Maybe I can't stay up till 2 a.m.
Twitch is the place, and I know that we talked about it earlier as well offline. We did. You
should probably stream.
Should. And I should probably tell you about. I should probably do some gaming on there.
I don't know who the like Assassin's Creed streamers and stuff are, but I imagine that there's a lot of other people out there who are completionists like you.
I'll show you the way.
Don't just thrive on the bloodthirst.
On the map, I will find it for you.
But
I'm the
people
weirdo.
will probably watch that, and you're entertaining.
Thanks. Oh, I don't mind if I do. I try to be.
But I can almost guarantee you that you would probably get some people watching.
Oh,
I don't really know how easy it is to like earn a Twitch audience like that. I like to think I'm pretty entertaining, but I don't know how many people would like to watch me just play Destiny all day long. Because I'm not like learning anything new. I'm not like breaking open any secrets. I'm just like, I'm going to play Destiny for 6 hours or something like that.
I think it would be great. There's certain games that I was like, man, if I had recorded my initial reactions, what it would have sounded like, what it would have looked like, what could it have been? I bet it was an experience, because I was mostly like, oh my God! And I think it's a good idea, and who knows, you might see me on Twitch soon enough. Creating my own community there.
Gazanda.
That's right. I game Gazanda. Amanda Gazanda. Younger.
That's a pretty good one, though.
Thank you. Amanda Gazanda. Because a lot of people do Amanda Panda. Not here. No Panda.
Gazanda.
Amanda Gazanda. All right. I'm going to let you go with that one, because now I'm down with water.
I know. I don't have any more whiskey either, but now my pistons are pumping now, so I think I need to go get another drink or something.
This is completely empty. I'm about to go make myself another drink.
I know, me too. I think I'm just going to go get another.
I was about to just get another drink, and like you and I like continue another conversation, and like it's for subscribers only. I don't know.
I mean, we could if you want to. I'll do whatever you want.
I don't even think I have that option.
Oh, is that not allowed?
I don't think I have like a Patreon like special stuff. If I do, then let's do this again, but we'll get wasted before I press record.
Like and subscribe.
Definitely give us a review, favorite us. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Calling it a day.
Okay.
I love you. I miss you. I love everything that you're doing, and I want you
Me
to keep
too.
I'm going to find you online. I'm going to be a part of your clan. We're going to make experiences and events online, and I can't wait for it.
We need to like have an Xbox Renaissance.
Boom.
You know what I'm
You want me
saying?
to find some treasure? I'm going to find you some treasure. You want to be my brute? You be my brute.
But we got to be able to do it together.
Absolutely. We will connect. We will engage. It will be a synergy. It'll be fantastic.
Yes. I love it.
I love it. All right. I am no longer recording. We have to dance off. Are you ready?
Is it supposed to go with the theme song?
Yeah.